Patrick. I'm an artist, and actually, I'm also a video game maker, designer, guy, person. I don't know what I am. I made a video game, and it's actually launching this week, if you can believe it. It's happening. It's happening! And I thought it'd be appropriate to take this week's episode and do a little bit of a post-mortem. Not that the game's dead yet. No, it's not even out. It's out on Thursday. Do a post-mortem to tell you things that I learned while making the game. Particularly, 4 things I learned while making a video game. But before we do that, let's check out the game in question with this little video. How do you do?
Hey there.
Hi! So I think the first piece of advice I have for anyone who's trying to make a video game, the first thing I learned is scale is key. I think it's old advice, really, right? Limit your scope, focus in, work with some limitations, and especially early on when you're making a new project or you're coming to your very first time making a game, you're gonna have a flood of ideas, things that you could add, and when you have a wide open space in front of you, the possibilities are in fact endless. You could add anything and everything to your game. And so having some sense of scope, of scale, of limitations goes a really long way. In truth, it's easy to add ideas, but it's hard to get them done, right? It's hard to implement them all well, all effectively together, and in a way that's really going to make an impact for the positive of your game. And if this is your first game, limiting your scope is really helpful because you can get from beginning to end in a shorter time. It might take a long time, but it'll still be shorter. If you go out there and say, I'm going to make the next Skyrim, you're going to be at it for years. If you go out there and say, I'm going to make the next Flappy Bird, it's probably been done, but it's shorter, right? It's one of the reasons why scale is so important. I scaled down my game from the original design of being one long strip from which to search for items to localized levels that have, complicated scenes of their own, but they're mid-sized. They're not this massive thing that seemed unwieldy and out of control for me. And that limiting of scale helped me to get the project done because I could focus in and get it done. Limitations also help with your creativity. When you create a space in which you want to work, you can easily determine what can fit in that space and what can't, right? If you're making a first-person shooter, you don't have to think about what's a puzzle game, right? It limits you, it focuses you, it sets you in place. And for me, having a hidden object game meant that there are some very obvious things that mattered to my game most and some things that mattered least, right? The objects and where to find them was a pretty big deal. And it allowed me to take some ideas and say, ooh, I like that, but it just doesn't fit. So yeah, having scale is key to making a game. It's game time, that's right, it's part of the show where we play a little game. This week we're doing Guess the Image. Can you guess what this image is before time's up? Good luck. The second thing I learned is to find your thing and stick to it. It's answering that essential question, what makes your game unique? Is it a mechanic? Is it a style? Is it a story? Is it something, more fundamental, much weirder? What is it that makes your thing exciting? And for me, it was vibes, right? I had this art style that I really sort of fell in love with and could make characters in and backgrounds in. And once I had locked that in, it was set up to help me do a bunch of other things, right? And it also allowed me to focus in on the work. One of the reasons why you want to have this thing at the front that matters to you most is because it motivates you to get other parts done, right? So I love the art. I didn't maybe love UI design, but because I love the art, I could focus my efforts in UI design on the style. How do I get the style that works with my art style? Another thing is it helped me be excited about the project, to have a thing that made my game unique, the thing that I wanted to talk about, think about, share with other people. And by having that thing, it's easier to be excited about the project you're working on. Sometimes when you sit down to do a project, it's all there and it's all very overwhelming, right? When you have a blank page in front of you, it's so hard to get out there and start, especially when you have a grand vision for a thing. And if you can latch yourself onto something that makes you very excited, that thing that makes the thing you're making unique and wonderful, that can motivate you through the harder, more difficult things. It also ultimately helps with marketing and having that unique selling thing. What is it called? USP? Unique selling point. That's it, I think, maybe. I'm a really good marketer, but knowing that from the get-go of my game, I'm able to talk about the game so more specifically in my sense of marketing, or when I'm just sharing it with other people, because I know what the thing is that matters to me most, and that passion comes through the game because that's how I made it, and that comes through in the the advertising. So yeah, find your thing and focus in on it, and it'll help get you through. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. That's right, my dad sends me a joke every single day. I like to click them up and give them back to you. And today our joke is as follows. What concert costs just 45 cents? What concert costs just 45 cents? 50 Cent with Nickelback. 50 Cent with Nickelback. What concert costs just 45 cents? 50 Cent with Nickelback. Let's get back to talking about games. The third thing I learned was work within your own skill sets. Making games, and people who make games are by very nature ambitious, right? And it's easy, especially when you're doing your first game, to dive into the deep end. But I would encourage you to look hard at your own skills and understand the truth of where you are in the process of learning and growing and becoming a game maker, a game developer. What skills do you already have that you bring to the table? What kinds of things do you think those skills can produce? I made a cozy hidden object game because I could focus on art and work on simple game mechanics, right? I knew very little about code. I knew a lot about art, and by making a cozy hidden object game, it allowed me to focus on making things that were cozy and making objects that could be found in complicated scenes, which relied heavily on my art skills and less on my coding skills. So yeah, what are the skills you're bringing to the table? Now, I'm not saying if you don't have skills, then you can't make a game, right? Or you can't learn them or spend the time learning them. That's actually very bad advice. Please don't take that from this. What I mean to suggest is that if you take an honest look at yourself, it will help you to determine what is possible and how long it's going to take to do the thing you want to do. So I had to spend months of work learning to code. I tried multiple game engines. I ultimately fumbled through coding a lot of the time, having great breakthroughs and deep setbacks. And it took time that on the next project that I'm working on, the next thing I'm doing, I probably won't have to take as much because I've learned that much more. And so the truth is that when you are sitting down to make something like a game, you do have to consider what you're bringing to the table, how long it's going to take you, and ultimately what you're going to need to do to accomplish that goal. If it is learning, great. If it is, focusing on the things that you're really good at, awesome. The other thing is you can possibly outsource. Now, I was fortunate enough in my game to have a friend who loves to make music as a hobby and decided they wanted to make music for this game. Her name's DJ Kenneth A. They made the awesome music that's in this video. They made the awesome music that is in the game. And they're releasing the soundtrack for Pay What You Want on their Bandcamp later this week, which is also very exciting. But what they did was they saved me a huge amount of time trying to either learn how to write music or make music in a way that was cozy and comfortable and nice. They saved me the money it would take for me to outsource to, you know, a repository of music that you could then maybe buy tracks one at a time and the like. And it was really advantageous. We're not all that fortunate, right? I'm very fortunate to have that. But the truth is, if there's areas you're not confident at, you can outsource them. You can find people who are interested in what you're doing and want to do some of it themselves. So yeah, work within your own skill set, figure out what you can bring to the table, what's going to take you to accomplish your goal, and if necessary, outsource to people who are also interested. Welcome to the art gallery. Thank you so much for joining us here. We have a Discord where we love to share your art. I often set up challenges every single week, as well as general encouragement to make and share art. We did Fruit Wizard last week and we got 3 submissions I'd love to share with you. We're getting to the point soon where we won't be able to share every submission in a video, which is both exciting and, you know, disappointing. So make sure you join the Discord so you can check out lots of them. Up first, we got from our friend Spooky James, Gargamel. That's right, our Fruit Wizard Gargamel. This one makes me laugh because it's hard to tell whether this is a fruit Gargamel or if it's Gargamel wearing a giant watermelon, and that to me is very funny. We got from a new member of the community known as Jam in the Discord. They made a blueberry ice king, and oh, this is a very blueberry. I love it. It's a really great representation of the Ice King, and I love the blue touches to make it all that much more hilarious. And we have from our friend Leumphy, we have Harry Pot Pear. That's right, it's Harry Potter as a pear, and he's got tiny little feeties, and that makes me very, very happy. If you have art that you'd love to share and see here in the art gallery, make sure you join the Discord. We're an art positive community. We just like to celebrate creativity and making stuff. And yeah, if you want to join that, we would love for you to do that. There's a link down below. Join the Doodle Croodle. Show us what you can doodle do. Let's get back to talking about games. Finally, the last piece of advice I think is the most important one, which is find community. Solo dev work is lonely. It's isolating in some ways. You're the only motivator, the only person who sort of cares about your problems, the only person who's working towards solutions. You're the only cheerleader, and you're the only one bearing all of that responsibility. And your dreams and your vision for your game is probably a pretty heavy and large responsibility. And that loneliness can crush the life out of your project. This is the hard, essential truth. And so let me encourage you to find people to share that journey with. It could be a Reddit page about game dev. It could be a Discord about game dev. You could put out YouTube videos or live stream your process and meet people that way. Building community and finding people to share this journey with will help you get over that threshold. There have been times in my journey where I've sat down and said, maybe this is the end of this part of the journey. And I've sat down and shown my community here on YouTube or on my streams what I'm working on, and they've said, keep going, it's worth it. And they've encouraged me every step of the way. And I think that is essential to getting it done, especially as a solo dev, especially as a new game designer. It makes a big difference. So find your community. You can find community here if you'd like. We have a Discord. It's called the Doodle Croodle. We like to see art and whatever you're working on. We like to encourage the joy of making and creating. And we have lots of folks in there, folks who know how to code, folks who know how to make art, make music. We just want to be an art positive community. And I think games are art. Boom, said it. So yeah, come join that community if you're looking for some community. And those are my 4 ideas, things that I learned while making a game, and they are quite simply: scale is key. Find the thing you're working on, the thing that matters most, and focus on it. Work within your own skill set, and find community. And if you do these things, it will help. Will it be easy? Decidedly no. Will it be worth it? From an emotional, exciting journey and having something that you're proud of angle, yes. Will it be financially worth it? It will be worth it, but maybe not in the capitalist financial way that we all have been trained to think about worth. With that, I think we've arrived at the end of our video. Rate my art is what I normally would say here. We haven't really done a lot of art so far. If you're interested, you can pick up the game this week and leave a review for it. It's will be over on Steam on Thursday. You can also just tell me what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think. If you have any advice for people making games for the first time, that would be fantastic as well. We also have a challenge this week. My game is called Kinder Finders. It takes place in a world full of animals, and I would encourage you to draw your own Kinder Finder member. What animal would they be? What would they look like in that Kinder Finder uniform? My challenge this week is for you to draw a Kinder Finder. Can't wait to see it. And with that, we've arrived at the end of the video. I would love for you to check out my game this week. Wishlist it for now. It's going to be out Thursday. It's super inexpensive. I know financial times are tough. And so look, thanks for watching this video. If you do end up checking out the game, thank you. If you don't, that's also fine. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, join the Doodle Croodle shows we can doodle do. And for now, that's going to be it. So until next time, keep being awesome. Bye!